Hello. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to this Monday Musings. Welcome to this continuation of our root chakra collective updates. So we shared in the first video that the whole planet, the whole earth, this ascension process, this returning to love, whatever we choose to call it, however we choose to see it, it has to start from the ground up. So what does that look like and what does that mean? Well, right now, especially right now, we're in the process of collectively and therefore individually, because the collective is within us, right? And we are everything. Collectively, we are clearing, purifying, and expanding and healing the root chakra, the roots and the sacral, specifically this part of us. Now today, I'd love to share something which I'm seeing a little, and this is common for humanity, just for this physical earth star, because when we are on a physical plane, the secrets and the keys that we have been gifted in order to remember and embody our love, because really that's why we're here, right? We're here to embody love. We are already living love. We're already love. It is highest, most unconditional, purest form. We are love. Love is a vibration. It's a vibration. It's beautiful. And we have that continual, eternal connection to source, to that remembrance, to that part of us, because that is what has seeded our individual experience that we're focused in right now. And our purpose really here, as we come to this earth star, it's the greatest way that we grow as a soul, is to be in a place that we have physicality, because we've had to slow our lights down, slow our vibration down to such a point where we can remain physical, yet also be so clear. This is what we're aiming for. We're all here to learn, is to be so clear in our human form, to be so clear in it that we can embody that vibration of love without any of the wounds or the scars, without any of those things that we've experienced that's caused us to fragment ourselves through space and time, without those getting in the way of that light shining through us. And so this starts with the root chakra up, right? It starts with the earth star that's already activated, that's been done and dusted past few years. Earth chakra, done, right? That ripple effect is vast, it's wide, it's done. The focus now is the roots and the sacral. So what happens when we have, an experience on earth? Well, when we first arrive here, connected with source, birthed into this physical body with limitations, with restrictions, and collectively the time that we're in, we've forgotten that this is an instrument of light. This sings our unique harmony and melody to the world. As brothers and sisters with one another, we sing our unique song out like the birds in the morning as they rise. I can hear them in the background now. Singing our unique song to create melodies and harmonies with every other being on this planet. It is interesting because we've forgotten that that's what this is. This body is a channel. We're all a channel, all of us. And when we have an experience through life, because we've always got our higher self moving through us, always got our higher self and our soul moving through us. Soul resides within us, the higher self moves through us. And what happens is that higher self is always talking to us. Yet we go through life having experiences where other people say their truth and share their truth, and they may have forgotten the living love which they are. And what happens in that case? Well, they have a truth that they think is finite. They have a truth where they think, okay, so my truth is the only truth. But that's actually not reality, right? Reality is that there are eternal strings of truth. Everyone in their own perception has a truth. But what happens is when our collective energy, this is what we were saying before, is that yes, there is a collective energy, but that collective energy that we see outside is actually reflective of our inner collective energy from every moment in time, every memory of every version of us that we either can remember or we can't consciously, because the conscious mind only a very minute amount of percentage of what we actually are, what we actually see. We have a collective within us, our individual collective. And if our individual collective is seeing an experience differently with either condition or expectation outside of ourselves, we feel drained, we feel, controlled even, we feel whatever. And what happens is that higher self, light's going down and up, up and down, and the collective perception of self, instead of forming this channel for it to free flow, it goes, oh, I'm going to go this way, right? Creating this chalice somewhat to store the fluidity of our love. But instead of storing the fluidity, it's like it goes down and it goes out this way, projects, fragments. If you've seen my videos for a little while, you'll have seen and heard me speak of, getting to know your body. Let's not estrange ourselves anymore. We spend so much time in the mind that we put a word or a thought to everything instead of just feeling or moving or honoring and connecting and building trust with the body, with the form. And what happens when we forget this, and most of us, all of us are, right? We could all build this relationship continually in the phase that we're at right now. What happens is we fragment ourselves, right? Part of us is then projected into space and time. It is held in a container of shadow for the day that we remember that we can welcome that back into our heart to be healed, cleared, received, embodied. The purpose of being here is to embody living love as a vibration, not to try and feel something, but to be the vibration. Now, what's really interesting is that when we have those experiences that causes this to go like that, which happens continually through this existence, right? This is the point. This is how we grow. This is how we remember. This is how we expand ourselves. This is how we grow our soul. This is why we're here. This is why we're here. It creates a projection in time because the world mirrors us. The whole universe is within us, so the world mirrors us, right? And that projection in time is so hidden from our conscious mind, we can't find it to look. Even if we looked, we couldn't find it. Because it's shadow work. It is now so far removed and hidden and veiled that even if we were to look within us, we don't see it directly. We have to realize that we've been given the keys and the secret code to find it a different way. And that secret code is how we perceive the world, how we perceive an experience, whatever someone is saying to us, whatever is mirroring back to us, and how we feel about that coming back. Right now, there is a big purging, a big purging of shame, of wanting the body, the root chakra. So where is the root? The root is in the hips, right? It's in the hips at the bottom of the spine. It's connected very much with the sacral because it's that womb space. It's the lingam, right? It's all of the hips, the pelvis, the genital area, right? Root chakra, and then the sacral. We've stored so much shame and fear and sadness in that space from forgetting that we're living love, from putting a condition or an expectation onto ourselves, because that may have come in towards us and we have gone, that person has this expectation of me, that person has this condition. That person has this view or this truth about me, and I'm going to take their truth and I'm going to go, oh, that is now my truth. What that does is that fragments our energy. So it's interesting because each individual will experience this reconciliation of shadow, of shame, into love, because that's all it wants to do. Any shadow is really the most loving gift that we can ever receive, because it's our own medicine offered to us, by a different version of us. That's all a shadow is. A different part of us, a higher part of us, calling it in, giving ourselves the medicine from this time that we scarred ourselves, this time that we wounded ourselves, because of where our perception went. Were we within ourselves, centered, connected with our heart, or did we fragment ourselves? Because everyone has fragmented themselves. Everyone. That's the age that we're in. It's how we grow in this space and time, and it's okay. But how might that look? How might that look? Well, for some, and this is how this world operates, is we tend to project. Our ego will want to project something. We might say to someone, I feel this in your energy field. I feel this. I see this in your energy field. I see this in your energy field, and I think you should be aware of it. You need to do some healing here. And what's actually happening there is that's our shadow giving us our own medicine, because it's not actually about the other person. Anything we say about another only tells us where we are at and what medicine we need, regardless as to what title we give ourselves. Because title is just, once again, it's the classification of the ego. So there is an invitation that our higher selves, that source energy, that God, is offering us, and that is to purify and heal our root chakra. And yes, some of us may speak outwardly at another, towards another. They may have opinions on another. You might, if you're watching this, you may go, oh, I've had an opinion on someone, and that's really interesting, because I thought that, it really was about them, and I was just going to offer it because that's what makes me feel better, is to offer that outwardly. But what it only ever is a reflection of ourselves and what we need to heal. Whenever there is an experience that you may experience with words or actions or even thoughts that seems to be projected at you, and it might be spiky, or it might be unwarranted, or it may be from a loved one, a friend, or even a stranger, it's them crying out for help. If we're doing it, it's us crying out for help. Because at some point in time, a version of ourselves has been shackled by expectation. We've done that ourselves. We've done it to ourselves. We've put expectation. There's no one else to blame here. So let's not do that. Let's not play that game. We've put a shackle. We've allowed a shackle of expectation or condition to be held around us. And then what we project out is us asking for help and unconditional love, only love, without expectation, just heart, living love, to be reflected back, so that we can be re-empowered, remembering that our trueness, our truest of truths, is living love. Our truest of truths has no shackle. We don't have to have this holding us. Whenever someone is projecting something outwards, whether it's ourselves or another, that's the part of them saying, hey, I need help undoing this bind that is somewhere in time formed around me. So how do we go about that? If that comes towards us, what do we do? Because it would not necessarily be unconditionally loving to just say, hey, I think you've got a binding around you, and it's only really about you. It's not really about me. It's just, that's not unconditional love and grace and compassion, to go back and go spike back, right? That might satisfy our ego, but is that really the part of us we want to feed? How can we open our hearts so much? How can we, when something's coming towards us, instead of jumping to the path of the ego, which will say, oh my gosh, I can't believe they're saying that about me. What if this? What if that? I need to correct them. Instead of that, what if we were to go? They're coming from a place of wounding that I'm not necessarily privy to. They definitely aren't. How can I be the most living love that I can be in this moment? Because living love, once again, is a vibration. It's a vibration. It's not a conversation. It's not an interaction. It's a vibration. How can you be that vibration? Sometimes we are inspired whilst in that vibration to write something or to say something or to reach out or to have an experience with someone. But sometimes it is just being there with your heart so wide open. And this is so important to do with ourselves as well, primarily with ourselves, so that we can be clear, so that we can have the ability to discern our own energy. Because our body, what our body feels, that's a message for us. If there is a tightness, if there is a restriction, if there is anything in our body, that's a message for us about us. Until we get to a point where we've really merged ego with heart, and we're not there. Humanity is not there. There's always more to go. Don't let the ego trick us. Don't let the ego trick you. Right? How can I see this person? How can I see this experience? How can I see this communication? How can I see them with such love? How can I see myself? If you're saying things to yourself, which many of us are as well, that are self-shaming or that hold guilt or anything like that. How can I show more love? How can I embody more living love in this moment so that that is the only seed that is planted? And so that anything else that is there that's already been seeded feels empowered enough to release. Let's override the fear. Let's override the shame. Let's override whatever is coming up and out. Let it come up and out. It needs to process. Someone else's process is not your business. Someone else's emotions are not your business. That is only for the individual. And if they wish to share that with you, great. But if it's not warranted, whatever we're feeling, even if it's about another, is showing us something about ourselves. It's not about them. And this is what's really beautiful as we're starting to remember this now, but it might be a bumpy ride for many of us, because it means facing and feeling what we've stored through our lifetime, because it needs to be felt. We need to feel it to heal it, because this is why we're here. We're here to embody living love, not continue to disembody ourselves by taking it straight to the mind, which is what we've done for lifetimes. We've been disembodying ourselves for lifetimes. So yes, it's tricky. Yes, it's challenging. It's challenging to feel and to face what may arise. But you know what? You won't be here if you weren't able to do it, because it's all your stuff. It's all our stuff. Whenever something arises for me, I look at myself and go, wow, why have I created this? What part of me created this? Wow. There's a part of me here that I've not seen, that I've not built a relationship with. There's a part of me here, or maybe it's a part of me from a different moment in time, a different part of my memory that I still have somewhere that's stored in my body and I don't even realize it, and it's calling out to be brought home. How can we bring ourselves home? We open the heart. We breathe. If everyone breathed, wow, we'd already be this ascended planet, but we've forgotten how to breathe. So we're remembering right now, myself included. Because the deeper we breathe, the more of our truth we bring in. We expand the heart, and the heart can grow and connect and encompass any shadow, any wound, any scar, projected or internalized. Bring it back to the love which it truly is, so that that medicine has been delivered and it doesn't need to repeat or project. Just some fun things to think about. But for now, probably rambled for enough. So I want to send you all so much love. Thank you for being here. If this resonates, if this helps, I love hearing what you wish to share. If you wish to share it, there's no obligation, of course. And I'll see some of you on the 22nd of the 2nd, the 222 portal, for part 2 of our Ancient Secrets of Sacred Union. Part 1, we laid the energy work. We looked at de-armoring the heart, de-armoring the sacral, the womb and lingam. And in part 2, we'll be looking at more tangible practices ovarian testicular breathing, embodying temple rights, things like that. So if you've not yet watched part 1, the recording is up on my website, aliceether.com. And if you are not yet registered for part 2 on the 22nd, the 222 portal, aliceether.com as well. It'll be wonderful to see you there. So much love, so many blessings. Bye for now.